Hello, this is Cathy Cassidy and I'm here for Sunday Book Club again. A little bit late today because normally I record this the day before and today I didn't. I'm actually recording it on Sunday morning, so sorry if you've had to wait a little bit. I'm in a really good mood today because I finished the book I've been writing for my French publisher Nathan. I finished that yesterday afternoon, and that's partly why I didn't record this yesterday. So although I still have to edit it, it does feel like a real weight off my shoulders, and it makes a little bit of room for some other projects that I'm dying to get on with. So yeah, I'm also really happy because yesterday on Facebook, a Facebook memory appeared that was taken at New Year, a little video taken at New Year 2020. And it was of my kids and their partners and friends who were with us for New Year that year. And they were singing in the middle of the night, about 3 a.m, everybody a bit drunk and a bit silly and a bit chaotic. But it was so full of joy and love. It really, really cheered my day. And sometimes I think Facebook can be amazing like that. So yeah, it made me hopeful, really, that gatherings of fantastic human beings and the people that I love so much will be possible again one day. So I hope that you found something in your week as well that has cheered you up. I've got a few shout outs to make because quite a few people left lovely messages when my story Snowflakes and Wishes came to an end on Wednesday in last week. So Francesca said, I'd been feeling very down and needed a happy ending, and the ending was so sweet, an antidote to some of the grimmer aspects of the world. I have really enjoyed your readings, and it's always a little bit sad when they come to an end. And Gayashri said, I love the ending, looking forward to seeing more awesome source videos. And Nathini said the ending was amazing and all the New Year wishes came true after all. Thank you for reading Snowflakes and Wishes. Amy said, thank you. I look forward to reading the rest of the stories in Life is Sweet, and also the Chocolate Box Girls set, which I had for Christmas. So I hope you enjoy that, Amy. Inaya said, I love your books so much. How old are Laurie and Coco in the story, and what other books did you write linked to the Chocolate Box Girls series? Well, Life is Sweet is a book of short stories that links to the series, and the craft book that I've shown you in other Sunday book clubs is also linked to the series, but otherwise it's just the 6 books that actually comprise the series itself. And in Snowflakes and Wishes, Coco and Laurie, I think, are probably 13 going on 14. It takes place a year or so after Coco Caramel and Coco's story, so they're a little bit older. But that was a good question, Inaya. So Borna Angel said, love the story, thank you very much. Lily Lost said, I've just watched every single chapter of Snowflakes and Wishes, and it has brought me so much Cathy Cassidy magic back again and made me miss the Chocolate Box Girls series. I now want to reread the whole lot. Grace said, I have never commented before, but I have been watching your videos since you started. I listen when I go to sleep and it's my favourite bit of the day. And Lucy said, another fab Sunday book club. Freya and I love listening, and she was very excited to hear you mention you're writing a new book. So yeah, thank you everybody who took the time out to comment. And also quick welcome to new subscribers, Samia, Isla Grace, Lavender Blue and Zainab. And I know there are more as well, but I don't, it depends on your privacy settings. I don't always get to see. I wanted to mention the fox in the story of Snowflakes and Wishes. It really, really upsets me every bit as much as it upset Coco that traps like that are still legal in our country. And in spite of the fact that fox hunting is banned by law in England, it still goes on. Even so, I found it really, really hard to understand why we persecute native animals in the UK, animals like foxes and badgers and deer and all sorts, and why we still cling on to the old, archaic blood sports of hunting with hounds. It belongs in the past. along with, you know, bear baiting and things like that. It just does not belong in the 21st century in our civilization. However, in lockdown, on Boxing Day, when people were told they couldn't meet with their families and with their friends, Boxing Day hunts of, like, you know, 30, 40, 50, 100 people were still allowed to go forward, even though fox hunting is illegal. That seems really, really wrong. And that was one of the reasons and one of the triggers that made me decide to read Snowflakes and Wishes. I wish we would all think a little bit more of the animals, the beautiful, beautiful animals that are native to our country, and make an effort to look after them and think more about animals in general, just like Coco does. So today I have a really, really special book shout out for you. I'm going to show you the book. It's called When the World Was Ours, and it's by Liz Kessler. And the copy that I've read is what's called a proof copy, uncorrected book proof. So the actual cover of the book will look a little bit like this, but it will also have the title, When the World Was Ours, much, much bigger on there. So the title of the book will look a little bit different, but it is an amazing, amazing book. It's about Leo, a Jewish boy, Elsa, a Jewish girl, and Max, the son of a Nazi officer, or a man who goes on to become a Nazi officer. And they are best friends when they're 9 years old, sharing a celebration trip, a birthday treat, on the Ferris wheel in Vienna. And there they meet a British couple, and Leo's father befriends them and invites them home for tea and cake. And the cake is Sasha Torte, which I've always wanted to try. And when they return to Britain, that British couple write a thank you note to Leo's family, and that connection eventually saves Leo's life as Austria falls to the Nazis and life for Jewish people becomes a living nightmare. This brilliant book has some very difficult themes, but they are so carefully done and so powerfully done. A friend asked on Facebook this week if anyone knew of a good book for Year 7 about the Nazi regime and the persecution of the Jews and the Holocaust. And this book is 100% the book that I would recommend. So Liz Kessler, she is an amazing, amazing storyteller. She's also a lovely human being. And although our paths don't cross as often as I would like, she's a lovely friend as well. But this book is very special to Liz. I know that because Leo's story is based closely on a real life event that happened to her father. And yeah, so the whole thing is so important to her family. It is also, in my opinion, the best book she has ever written, and one of the most powerful and moving and skillfully woven books I have ever read about this dark point in human history. Now, when my friend asked about books that I would recommend, there are some really good books written about this terrible, dark part of our history. I know people often mention The Boy in the Striped Pyjamas and go to that one as their book to learn about that era. That's not a book I would ever choose or recommend, I'm afraid. I'm not about to go into a negative review of the book, but it is problematic, and to me it's not really believable. But, you know, if you've read it and enjoyed it, fair enough. The books that I would recommend that already exist before Liz's book, there are 3 books written by a fantastic author called Maurice Gleitzman. Once, Then, and Now. And this trio is really, really powerful and really, really amazing. Also very much suitable for kids, I would say, of about 9 and upwards. Then there is this book, Milkweed, by amazing author Jerry Spinelli, who's quite famous for probably his most famous book is Stargirl, which I also 100% recommend. Milkweed is so moving and so, you know, it's a difficult book to read, but it's amazing. There's a fantastic graphic novel called Mouse by an author called Art Spiegelman, perhaps for older kids and adults. I've got the book Mouse, but I've forgotten to take it off the shelf, so I'm not going to go run off and find it now. And another book I'd recommend, obviously, is The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak. However, When the World Was Ours by Liz Kessler is easily as good as any of those. I would love to see it as a movie because I think that would allow it to reach an even greater audience, and it's such a cleverly woven together story and a visual story. I can totally imagine it as a movie. On one level, When the World Was Ours works really well as a story set in the 1930s and 40s in Nazi Germany, and also obviously the countries that the Nazis occupied. But it's so much more than that as well. History, sadly, can repeat itself if we refuse to listen and learn the lessons that it has to teach us. And right now in the USA and also in Britain and across Europe, fascism and hatred are being stirred up all over again. We must not stand by and allow that to happen. So this book, it's out on the 21st of January, but you can pre-order it through any good bookshop website or through any of the regular online bookshop or book selling websites. It's called When the World Was Ours. The author is Liz Kessler. I'm just going to make sure you can see that because it's really important. So it will be out from the 21st of January. And if you buy one book in 2021, please buy this one. It's going to be a modern classic. Yeah, I've just a couple of extra books if anybody is researching or reading into this area. These are two that I've loved for a long time. Friedrich and I Was There, by an author called Hans-Peter Richter. Probably pronounced that wrong. But so there are lots of good books that have been around for a while, like some of the ones I mentioned earlier. But also there are some newer ones too. There is this fabulous one, Orphan Monster Spy by Matt Colleen, which came out, I think, just about 18 months, a year or 18 months ago. And it's a fantastic adventure spy story, really. So it's gentler in the way it tells its story, but so edge of your seat. And Matt Colleen is definitely an author to watch. And Flight, this fantastic story by Vanessa Harbour. It's again set in Austria in 1945 and tells the story of children who rescue the famous horses from the Vienna school of Spanish riding school in Vienna. That's typical. My brain just had a little freeze there. But this book is lovely, and if you love horses and you love adventure, again, Vanessa Harbour's book is a definite one to go for. And yeah, I'm just going to leave you again with a little look at this Liz Kessler's book. I've been asked whether I will be reading another story, another chapter by chapter book to last us through the rest of the lockdown. And at the moment, I'm not really sure. I think I'm going to take another week off anyway. So perhaps you would comment and let me know whether you want another story or not. If you've had enough, and that's absolutely fine. I totally understand that. And if you do want another story, please have a think about which story you'd like it to be. I would prefer it not to be one that's in a series, maybe one of the one-off books. I do have two in mind, but I'm not really sure which one to go for, if either. So you have a think about that. But whatever you do in the next week, stay safe, keep smiling, and I will be back with Sunday Book Club next Sunday for you. Take care until then, and I will see you soon. Goodbye.